Most anglers specialize in one species or one body of water. But today, we joined 28-year-old guide Nick Petrou to see how he approaches a tough midday panfish bite on Honeoye Lake. Hey everybody, Captain Ken here. We're down here on Honeoye Lake. I just want to introduce you to Captain Nick.
Ken, nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you, brother.
Same here. My name's Captain Nick Petrou, owner and operator of Natural Outfitters based out of Geneseo, New York, just south of Rochester. Focus mainly on multi-species angling, and we do some waterfowl hunting later on in December into January. And we cover everything from about Syracuse area, all of Western New York out to Buffalo, and then we do a lot of work up in the Thousand Islands as well.
You were out yesterday with your father-in-law out in Lake Ontario.
Yep.
You were bass fishing for cohos.
Yep. We were out on the Niagara Bar because I had a couple trips coming up out that way, and we ended up catching probably 15, 16 coho salmon. It's in the same spot that we were spot locked with the trolling motor. We had walleyes, smallmouth, lake trout, and coho salmon all on the same bait in the same spot. It was like a saltwater blitz. The birds were working, the fish were busting on emerald shiners. They were coming up all over the place, and we're throwing swim baits in it, and they're crushing it.
So you matched the hatch.
Mm-hmm. As soon as we got the first one in the boat, there was emerald shiners all over the place alive. They were eating them so fast. They were about that big, so we downsized our swim baits, and then it was game on. I grew up in a pretty fishing family. My dad was a fisherman growing up. He was a commercial fisherman down in Long Island, so I've done it all. I've tuna fished, I've striper fished, fluke, blackfish, sea bass, you name it, I've pretty much caught it.
What stood out right away was how differently he thinks about fisheries.
That is probably a school of bluegill.
You have a LiveScope up there that's feeding back to here.
Yeah, so everything's interconnected. This just runs my LiveScope. This battery's a lithium, 12-volt lithium, just runs my LiveScope and all three of the graphs. So this right here is an Ethernet hub. So all of these are connected through Ethernet cords. So I have a 20-foot cord that goes up to that unit, which then sends it down to here, and then transmits it to these two. And same thing, this has the regular transducer, which then feeds it, and it could read on any single one of those units. And in my LiveScope, the actual black box itself sits up in the front, and that's my battery that runs the trolling motor.
Now, did you do this yourself?
I rigged the whole boat myself.
Wow.
This was a brand new rod that Loomis sent me, and it had these heavy guides on it, and it was so tip heavy, so I stripped the whole thing. I added 2 more guides, but it's still lighter and more balanced. Same thing like that. So that rod there, I designed specifically for catching perch and crappies, throwing those with things like that. What I like to use, I like high-vis lines. So like on that one, these are both 5-pound test. This is yellow braid, that's blue braid. I like the lighter line. I try and use the lightest braid that I can get away with, just so we can, number one, with the light colored braid, you can see it better, and you'll also get a super far cast. And of course, I always put a pretty long fluorocarbon leader.
Every part of Nick's setup had a purpose: sensitivity, balance, and presentation.
See all these little dots that are right there? Those are all crappies and bluegills. And we're in 14 foot of water. They're out in about 15 to 16 suspended. They're 60 feet that way. So when I say that way, everything is in line with the tip of the trolling motor here. So this is my general point.
That's how
director,
you know.
And that's how you know. You're gonna see this. If they're crappies, as soon as you hit them on top of the head, they will go straight down. So I'll make my cast straight out in front of the boat. See my bait just go down?
Yeah.
As soon as it hits the water, just wait. Just start really slowly. Boy, just gotta hit it. Come on.
It was around noon, usually a slower time for panfish, and the early bite was inconsistent. Instead of sitting on one spot, Nick kept adjusting. Eventually, Nick started seeing signs of life in areas where we never expected. He ate it too.
They're all big bluegills. They're pretty big. Big old bluegill.
Is that it?
Now these are getting, it's like we're getting into bigger ones.
I know. That's crazy.
Look at that.
Bluegill and a pumpkinseed. So actually, that is not a pumpkinseed. Let me see.
Is
So you
that
take
a
your hand.
bluegill?
That is a hybrid between a pumpkinseed and a bluegill.
Really? They
Yep.
can.
It's so strange. I've only done this a handful of times, and they seem to be they're out. It doesn't make sense why they're out, but they're here.
This LiveScope
Isn't it crazy?
There's no, that is hands down the most interesting part of today.
I'm the downstate guy that's only been up here for 3 years that is running a charter business that's doing 150 trips a year.
It's the fact that how are people finding?
It's all Facebook. Everything is Facebook.
See, that's incredible.
Facebook is probably one of the greatest tools that you could have as a charter boat captain. Because you have all these different Facebook groups. You be kind, you be respectful. You don't bash each other online. I see so much of it.
Oh.
And you just be respectful. You know, you create a business where people in this business, people come in happy, and they're supposed to leave even happier than when they came in.
Beyond guiding, Nick also works with anglers on understanding sonar, GPS systems, and marine electronics to help them become more effective on the water. He also writes for publications including Wired to Fish, On the Water Magazine, and Athlon Outdoors. After spending a day on the water with Nick, it's easy to understand why anglers across the Northeast are paying attention to what he's doing. Until next time, let's catch fish.